Intelligent people do not assume to know what will make them truly happy. We can't just assume that we know what is going to make us happy. We can't just assume that getting that job or signing that client or dating that person or getting married or moving to that place or looking that way is going to be it. At one point, Christmas made a lot of us more happy than it does now. At one point, a birthday party made us feel a lot more happy than it does now. If money made you happy when you were broke, the same amount of money is not going to make you happy when you're rich. Emotionally intelligent people do not assume being fearful is a sign that they are on the wrong path. A sign that you're on the wrong path is indifference. If you are fearful about something, that is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. You're being pushed towards something. That's intention. Who knows if it always will be the right thing? What we do know is that you're on the right path. It might not lead to exactly where you want, but you're going into a direction you know you need to go into. They know that happiness is a choice, but do not feel they need to make that choice all the time. Happiness is not a sustained state of joy. Being happy is moment by moment. If you were only experiencing one emotion all the time, then that's not living. You're not living. You're just in existence. Living the human experience means that you experience all the emotions. And you should allow yourself to say, I'm not in a happy state right now. Emotionally intelligent people know that a feeling will not kill them. You're not going to die because you're angry. You're only going to die if you start doing stupid things because you're angry. Emotionally intelligent people do not confuse a bad feeling for a bad life. When you fight the bad feeling, when you fight the bad day, that is anything but peaceful. If you just come to grips with this is just not a good day for me. It's not my day. I got bad news. I lost a client. Somebody hit the back of my car on the way to the gym, and I just want to go home, go to sleep, and start this one over tomorrow. That's part of life. If I'm fighting against that bad day, if I'm fighting against that bad feeling, I'm causing war within myself. You're able to have peace when you just accept it. This is a bad stretch of life, or this is a bad day, or this is a bad week. These are bad feelings. But this doesn't make it a bad life.
We live.
Live and alive. Live and alive. All you come in. All you come in. What's up, C? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Jay. I'm doing good, man. I just, you know that yesterday was National Heroes Day in Jamaica.
What is that exactly for? Is it for
It's
like
just
people who have taken on?
recognizing the heroes that played a big part in Jamaica's history. Like Paul Bogos, Sam Sharp, all of those ones. Marcus Garvey. You might know Marcus Garvey. But you know what's crazy? We do have some that people like literally nobody know anything about, like where they were born, where they're from. They're basically myths.
Really?
Yeah, some of it is it makes me wonder sometimes, like if they're just made up, and like some of them doesn't actually exist. And of course, Marcus Garvey exists and stuff, but some of them, like Nanny of the Maroon, is just I've always wondered if she was made up. And yeah,
Are
and then
these like I would
mhm,
like so these are like basically like leaders from the
yeah,
past.
exactly.
I
And
know who Marcus Garvey is, but
yeah,
that's the only name that sounded familiar on that list of people that you just named.
yeah, there's a few of them, and I feel like sometimes j- uh they don't take it that list seriously at times too, because they want to make, every now and then they want to make some prime minister a national hero. It's like, bro, just relax.
Have you speaking of heroes and leaders, have you seen the AI, the Martin Luther King wrestling thing?
No, I did not.
Put it on the screens real quick. If you go on YouTube, there's like there are so many of them, and I think his family complained. I just sent one to you. think his family complained. Let me say good morning to some people. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Codex. Good morning, Conversations with J moderators, or Wayne column moderators. Good morning to everyone. This the Martin Luther King thing is wild. There's like a whole bunch of them. If you look on YouTube Shorts, did you see what I sent you?
No, I didn't get it yet.
Yeah, if you just search Martin Luther King wrestling, you'll see it.
All right, let me try and pull up one right now.
Throw it on for our audience. Now, I want to know what you think about this. Like, you think this is disrespectful? Because I'm pretty sure his daughter complained about it, and I think OpenAI had to like issue an apology or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some things you don't do, man. Especially for like people that represent certain things. You don't make light of certain situations or like use their image in certain ways. I have it.
Yeah, throw it on the screen. There's a few of them.
I ain't got no dreams no more. I am the dream.
Did he just say that?
The crowd is turning on him.
Unbelievable.
You want to know the truth? I ain't got no dreams no more. I am the dream.
Did he just say that?
The crowd is... You make me sick. You think these people care about you? You are nothing without me. You want a dream? On Sunday you'll have one, because I'll be putting you to sleep. You make me sick.
It's actually crazy how real it
You
looks.
think these people care
does.
about you? You
It's
are
nuts.
nothing.
How real this stuff looks.
I have a dream, not for any of you, but one that is me holding that WWE championship.
It's wild.
That's Sora.
You wanna know what's running through my mind? I don't have dreams no more. I get nightmares.
Oh, he just ripped the vest right off.
Here it comes.
RKO.
Good night.
Champ just planted him.
You wanna
It's
know what's
nuts. How is it so real looking? Anyways,
Yeah,
I
that sort
think-
of thing is dangerous. I've been
Yeah.
seeing a lot of videos on TikTok with that Sora watermark, and some of them are like so confusing because I'm like, wait, is that real? It's the only the watermark that gives it away because everybody, I guess nobody removes the watermark.
And then I always say, like, if this is like what we're seeing and like just regular people like us, what is like really behind the scenes? Like, what do they really have access to, right? Because we get the scraps, like we're not getting the newest technology. They have the newest technology. It's not released yet.
Hmm.
It's always interesting. Good morning, Christina. Good morning, Christina. We're going to be quick today. Speaking of leadership, speaking of heroes and leadership, I was reading The 7 Levels of Leadership this morning by John Maxwell. John Maxwell is one of the great leaders of our time, and he has a company in which he teaches leadership. But he was talking a lot about positional leadership versus actual leadership, like true leadership, and there is like a huge difference. So I really did want to just get into a few of the points that he made, but we've all understand the difference, right? Sometimes you are given a position of leadership, but that doesn't technically mean that you are a true leader or even a good one, right? I mean, sometimes you could be given positions all the time. Like there's many times you could be given positions, doesn't make you good at it, right? A lot of people are not great parents, for example, and they've been, given the position as, a father or a mother, but doesn't mean that they're actually good at it. And there is some sort of, authority that comes with that position, and oftentimes that authority is not earned, right? Especially if your child doesn't come with a manual, right? Sometimes you have to learn as you go as a parent. And so he talks about this. He gave an example when he was a pastor. He got like a first job as a pastor, and he said, like, he was qualified. He went to school for it. He had the salary. He, got hired for the position. And he said, for the first meeting, he's like, okay, I'm the leader of this church. And what happened was, he said, really quickly, he realized that he wasn't the leader of the church. He said that when he got started, the true leader of the church actually, kind of took over the meeting. And that was a guy that was, I guess, had been there for many, many years. And the congregation already looked up to this person. And just because he wasn't the pastor didn't mean that he wasn't the leader. And so he said that he had to earn it. Actually, it's one of the things I wrote down. He said, a leadership position can be given, but you have to earn it. So he said he had to work overtime to earn that true leadership position. Even though he was a positional leader, he wasn't actually a true leader. And he gives a lot of examples of the difference between the two, what a positional leader is versus what a true leader is. He talks about, for example, positional leaders, they usually are the ones that, for example, in a company will count the clock, right? They're ready to go. They're usually the ones that say stuff like, it's lonely at the top, because they isolate themselves oftentimes, where everybody else is down here and I'm up here. He talks about the fact that positional leaders are very, very, they feed off of politics. So they feed off of the perks that they get. Maybe it's a company car or something like that. They feed off of the power that they have, right? They want to be called Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, and instead of just their first name, want to be called something else. So it's all like politics, right? He talks about the fact that they separate themselves from the pack. And true leaders, they're working beside you. True leaders are always working together. They're working beside everybody else that they're leading. John Maxwell was the one that said, the number one is far too small of a number for greatness. I remember he was on Tom Bilyeu's show, and he actually went before, I think the show was called Impact Theory. And it was kind of like a talk show. And before the show, he went and he was thanking all the staff, the lighting crew, the film crew, the producers. He was thanking them all before the show started. And Tom Bilyeu mentioned it to John Maxwell during that time. He said, you did something interesting. You were thanking everybody. I thought that was awesome, and you really showed that you appreciated my team. And he said, I recognize that the number one is far too small of a number for greatness, and you couldn't be great if all of these other people weren't beside you. And that's what true leadership is about. True leadership, you lead side by side. You don't lead from a top down type of thing, and that's why positional leaders often feel like they're lonely, but true leaders don't feel like they're lonely at all. True leaders feel like they're in the thick of it with everybody else. So it's very, very important to understand that just because you're a positional leader doesn't mean you're a true leader. You have to earn that true leadership title. Okay. And then he goes on as well to talk about the fact that a lot of people quit people. They don't quit companies, they quit people. So when somebody quits, they're really quitting because they don't want to, the leadership is poor or the leadership is bad, and they just don't want to be around that quote unquote leader anymore. And the worst part is usually what happens is it's the level 8 people, level 10 people that actually quit. And so you actually lose great talent around you and great talent in your company. Now, of course, he's here talking about companies, but this is anything, right? We're leaders in our relationships every day of our lives. We're leaders in our jobs. We're leaders. Sometimes we're leaders in our hobbies, or in our community, or in our social groups. So it is something to really learn about. Again, this book, 7 Levels of Leadership. It's a great book. Great book. Let me just get to a couple more of my notes here. All right. He also talks about the fact that just because, as a leader, just because you can do something or you have the power to do something doesn't mean it's right to do. And he then talks about Abraham Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln's quote that was, nearly all people can stand adversity, but if you want to test someone's character, give them power. right? And I'm sure that you guys have heard this before. I've been told this before. You really, really will get to know somebody's character once they are given power. And Jordan Peterson talks about this as well in his book, 12 Rules for Life. He does talk about the fact that you're not really, unless you're dangerous, unless you have power, unless you're powerful, you're not really impressing anybody. Because the true leader, and the person that's actually truly impressive is the person that can do something, but they don't. But if you can't do anything, if you have no power, if you're weak, then I'm not going to, give you praise for not beating somebody up. You can't, right? I'm not going to give you praise for not, really, you don't have that power. So actually in that book, he talks about, we should become great versions of ourselves and become dangerous, because that's the way we'll actually be impressive. You're not impressive if you can't do anything, if you don't have power, if you're weak, right? So he talks about that in that book, and this is what Abraham Lincoln was basically saying, right? Everybody has dealt with adversity, and it is impressive to deal with adversity, but we'll really know your character once we give you some power. All right. He also talks about in his book that the positional leader, they oftentimes, they want to emphasize rules and regulations that are to their advantage. Where a true leader, they know the rules and regulations, but they oftentimes blur the rules and regulations so that they can be more beside the people that they're leading. And there was this movie, I forgot what it was, but this guy got a new position. And I forgot what the movie's called, but he got a new position at a new company, and he was the leader of a new team at that company. And he, excuse me, he said to the team, my door's always open. People say that again, my office door is always open. He's like, my door's always open. You guys come to me with anything. And then everybody just started nodding their head. And he's like, no, seriously, my door's always open. And he literally took the door off of the hinges. And that type of thing is very important. I mean, in offices, oftentimes you'll have these positional leaders go into their back office or their corner office and close the door or something like that. But oftentimes the true leaders, they're actually side by side with a lot of the other people that they're working with, and they have clear doors, or they don't have doors in the office, or their office is all glass, right? So it's like this office, right? It's all glass. So it is very, very important to understand the difference between just being a leader because you have that position, and of course earning it, and really, really having some pride in the fact that you not just are a leader in this position, but you are a great leader in this position. So the book is really great. I encourage all of you guys who are on here to go and check it out. It's called 7 Levels of Leadership. And I didn't take that many notes today because I have read this book already. But I thought this was a good place to start, because we will get into this book a little bit more this quarter, in this fourth quarter of the year. I think that was a good place to start, just talking about that level 1 leadership. Level 1 of leadership is just a position. And just because you are in a leadership position doesn't mean that you are a good leader. All right. Speaking of good leaders, let's go all out today in being great leaders for ourselves, for our communities, for the people around us. Let's go and be great, because greatness is a choice, and you make that choice every single moment of every single day. I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.
Your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Like a helicopter. Spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy punching Johnny Walker. Somebody tell the police they just can't stop us. Oh, when me choppers them. 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 Rags with me, flags with me, rags with me, flags with me, rags with me, flags with me. Yo, spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Wave your rags like a helicopter. Spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Round and round like a helicopter. Spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Wave your rags like a helicopter. Spin your rags in the air like a chopper. Hi, choppers fly, helicopters. We drunk cause we drink like a fish in the water. So high is like the world spinning faster. Dripping with sweat but it don't really matter. The music making me ball out. We see ladies and we call out. Them girls whining all out. Look a fight in the back, them brawl out. What? Me no business about that. Girls on me mind, so me thinking about that. Woman in the place, so me hunting for that. Bumpers in me face, so me on the attack. Just give me Henny, give me Stag. No racial thing, white oak, Johnny Black. Oh gosh, I got catch a jet lag. 1919 does have me feeling high. Like a helicopter, spin out your rags in the air like a chopper. Hennessy